Hola, welcome to Mike on the Camino. Today, we're talking about what is the Camino? The Camino de Santiago is sometimes referred to in English as the Way of St. James. It's basically a network of hiking trails right across Europe that all lead to one point, the tomb of St. James. In case you forgot which one he is, he's the one seated here next to Jesus at the Last Supper. St. James was the first of the disciples to be martyred, and he's also the patron saint of Spain. The pilgrimage has been around since about the 9th century AD, but even before that, in pre-Christian times, people would walk along the same path and would go all the way to the ocean, bringing back a scallop shell as the proof that they made it all the way. The shell, or the Camino shell, is still the symbol of the Camino to this very day. People do the Camino for all different types of reasons. It might be religious, spiritual, maybe they need some exercise or are just looking for a holiday with a difference. Either way, they all end up at the same spot, in the bottom of the cathedral, looking at a short silver coffin that may or may not contain the remains of St. James. Pilgrims will also collect a certificate of completion or a Compostela at the end of their Camino. I completed my Camino in 2019 just before COVID. Thank goodness. And I completed it with my 11-year-old son. People from all around the world speaking all sorts of different languages walk together, eat together, sleep together in the same pilgrim hostels called albergues. While there are many paths on the Camino, 2/3 of all pilgrims do the Camino Frances, or the Camino that starts in southern France. It starts in the town of Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port and goes up over the Pyrenees Mountains into Spain and then all the way across to Santiago, which is around about 800 kilometres or 500 miles. However, most pilgrims don't start 800 kilometres back. The minimum distance that you can do and still qualify for a Compostela is 100 kilometres by foot or 200 kilometres if you are on a horse or a bike.
But you can do this on a bike? Why the hell are we walking?
Pilgrims will follow the yellow arrows and the pilgrim shells as markers and indicators as to which way the Camino goes so they don't get lost. Also too, everybody will welcome a pilgrim with the greeting Buen Camino, which directly translates as good way, or they're wishing you a good trip on your way of St. James. It depends upon two factors. Firstly, how many kilometres are you doing overall? And secondly, how many kilometres do you do per day? If you're just doing the last 100 kilometres and you're doing 20 kilometres a day, it's going to take you 5 days to get there. If you're doing sort of around 30 kilometres a day, you could do it in 3 or 4 days. If you were doing, say, the full 800 kilometres, it will take you anywhere from 25 to 40 days, depending upon how many kilometres you walk. A lot of people tend to aim for 30 days of walking with some extra days for resting and sightseeing along the way. Some pilgrims also do the Camino in sections, where they might come back each year and do little segments of it, and over several seasons, they'll complete their Camino. Why? Why would anybody want to walk 800 kilometres when there's buses, trains and cars that can take you there so much quicker? Well, the Camino is really more of a journey within yourself. Of course, it also is a journey within some awesome, amazing scenery. You will also walk with some of the coolest people you will ever meet in your life. You'll have some of the deepest conversations you'll ever have, and it will be with total strangers. Plus, there's also a fountain on the Camino where it's free water on one side and free wine on the other. I mean, free wine? For free wine? Want to know more about some Camino topics? Want to know more about the history of the Camino? What kind of equipment did I carry? What was it like walking with an 11-year-old kid? Whatever your question, put it in the comments below and I'll add it to my list. But remember, as always, buen camino!